Good afternoon from Marie at Messium Creations. Don't even know the name of my own little Stampin' Up business. There we go. Hello, Jeanette. So we are playing today. So the voted colour theme was the beautiful yellow flower. So we have So Saffron, Pear Pizzazz, Mango Melody, Coastal Cabana and Cinnamon Cider. So quite an interesting little complement of colours. But this is why I love to choose nature, because if you look at the cardstock, it's a fantastic little collection there, I think. So in the main, I am using the Beautiful Friendship set. So I have that all mounted. I have also got the small circle from Swirly Frames, just in case I feel I need to add a little something. And then if we do have any gaps we need to fill, I've got the Birch larger stamp set. Oh, stuck to my box, but hopefully that will release itself. There we go. So that may be added because that's got some nice texture to it, so we may add that at a later date. And I am creating thank you cards today because I need quite a number. So I've used this lovely thank you, which is kind of my go-to favourite at the moment, from Peaceful Moments. So that's what we have. So let's get playing and see what happens. So do say hi when you come in and join us, and if you are watching on catch up, do let me know when you are watching as well. I'm going to save the green for my leaves. I'm not sure where the cinnamon side is going to go. So I'm going to focus on my two yellows to start with. I'm going to go in with the So Saffron first, I think. And I think I'm going to use this lovely big flower. Let's get my wire out of the way there. So how are you, Jeanette? Are you well? Also thinking about how I'm going to cut this piece of paper up when I'm kind of making this, so this may look even more random than usual. So I'm going to attempt to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, potentially 7 cards. We'll see how time goes. I don't want to take up all your time, and I've got a webinar at 7. Good, good, good. So you didn't blow away. You're not in Kansas or anywhere else after all that wind. I think it pretty much affected us all. I think Storm Francis has passed on by. So that's my So Saffron. So the Mango Melody is a much brighter colour. I'm going to use this. Let's have a little try of this. I'm definitely going to use the Cinnamon Cider for the kind of central. Not yet. So the Mango Melody just represents a slightly oranger shade of yellow in my eyes. Just tucking that in close. Varying the angle. See where we end up. Kind of trying to think in my head how I might cut it up and how greetings might fit on. Pop another little one in that corner there. Let's leave that there for now. So I think there's this lovely little what's the word I want? Kind of closed up flowers. Is there a proper word for closed up flowers? Don't know if there is. Buds. Yes, there is. the other thing I need to remember is I don't want to ink up too much stalk, which is what I'm constantly doing at the moment, because then we can get them, if we don't ink up the stalk, we can get them kind of right snuggled in, like they've just kind of come out. So where I've used the stalk there, it tends not to work quite so well, so they're much more snuggled in. Which in of itself is, I'm not sure is a crafting term, but I think you know what I mean. So I think in that one I only want the bigger flower, so I'm going to be very carefully just inking up. So with any stamp you don't have to ink it up, we can kind of, so literally if I want that bigger one, I'm just taking that bigger one and keeping the smaller one off the pad, because I think that would look rather nice as a singular one there. The other thing I love about this is, oh, I've just inked that stalk up. Let's get rid of that ink on the edge of my paper. Coastal Cabana, another colour that doesn't get utilised very often in my craft room, so that's very naughty, isn't it? It's the problem when you have all these choices of colours. Oh, and I have picked the images for your colour options for next week's One Sheet Wonder, and I've literally just picked them because I think they're hilarious. They're just little animals doing animals. Some are birds, some are, can't think whether they might all be birds, but they're just kind of doing funny things, and it just amused me. I think it was on when I was on my much amusement that our Central Bedfordshire weather forecaster on the BBC suggested we had to be careful of sea debris. And frankly, if sea debris had got this far, we were all in trouble, so. Hi Jane, are you watching while cooking dinner? Are you? Out with the sheep? Just going to leave that one for a little while. I might just, I'm going to add some leaves in, I think, which I'm going to use the Pear Pizzazz. So I did in the corner of the hot tub. Oh, I'm well jealous now. Relaxing in the hot tub. No crafting items allowed in the hot tub. That definitely wouldn't work. Yes, in the image that was chosen, I saw a little bit of going from kind of the saffron into the Coastal Cabana. I saw a little bit of paler green, so I thought Pear Pizzazz was a good. I debated about Just Jade, but decided that it was more Pear Pizzazz. So I'm just snuggling some little leaves into some of these areas. You can see by not inking up the kind of very stalky bit. The ice cream van! Oh, it's playing random tunes. You probably can't hear the ice cream van, can you? But oh, Oh, you know what's going to annoy me now is I'm going to not be able to guess in the summertime. Who sang in summertime? That's what he was just playing. Bearing in mind I live in a no-through road as well. He must have a guaranteed customer somewhere that he's popping down to see. Oh, I'm loving these colours. What do you think? Great little combo. Snuggle some leaves in there. Mungo Jet, there you go, you see? Thank you, Muchly. You know, now what's going to happen is now I've heard that, that's going to be constantly going through my head. So for sure, I've got a little infill for these little flowers, just to... Not quite sure how it goes, but we'll just pop them in. This is not on exacting, just a little, whatever those bits are called in the inside of a stamen. Possibly. Let's see. Oh no, he's coming back here. He's had a customer. Although I do think ice cream vans sell everything now, don't they? They're probably selling milk or something to someone. Who knows? Oh, that's rather nice, isn't it? Like the way I compliment my own work. It's just what I love about a one sheet wonder. I just never quite know what's going to occur, and I'm almost thinking that I don't know that I want to put much more on that. That's unusual, isn't it? Maybe we could have a little something in this area. This could be a favourite little colour combo. I definitely don't think I need to add a... I think adding that circle from Swirly Frames is going to mess it up, so I'm definitely not adding that. So that can go back in the box while we have a little contemplate. Get rid of that one. I don't think we're going to need our birch infill either. I might just put, there's a singular flower, but I definitely don't want that singular flower in Cinnamon Cider, do I? Got the option of a feather as well, but I don't think that's going to be right for it as well either. I might pop, I might do a bit more saffron for this little flower. I don't think that, Coastal Cabana's fab, but it's stronger, so I don't think I want a flower. I'll put a little upside down. Just pop a little few of these around. Oh, isn't that funny? I thought I was going to put much more on the sheet. Might put one there. It doesn't snuggle in there very well though. Maybe I'll join these up here. That might be the one that I regret. I think that might be it. Slightly random. Let's get those inks out of the way. A few stamps I didn't use, but that's fine. That's two less that need cleaning. So I've just got my little thank you, but we're going to cut it up first. So let us see where we go with the chopping up. We need to cut it into the 4/4. That's always the starting point. So 10.5. Excuse me. And 14.9. I like to lay them out in a completely different order. I think so. I don't know if you remember my layout. What I'm thinking is if we cut that one there, excuse me, I think the 3.5 strip would need to be that, so I'm thinking that one goes that way round. If we cut that one on the diagonal, we don't have a whole heap of space, but it's not a lot of space for a... Oh, I think that one lends itself to the diagonal, doesn't it? Two little... Or we could, how about we cut it that way? Oh dear, oh, there's a confusion. And I think this one lends itself to being cut in half for that, so that leaves us with that bit we have to use on its own. So this is going to get cutting because these look completely different. And then, you know what I'm going to ask is what we think about colours, because that, I think, so my thank you across there is going to be lovely. This one we're going to go in half, so cut at 7.5. Then we have one more there where the little thank you can go up there. And this one I think rather lends itself to being chopped into the 3 at 3.5. So these ones I use on the little note cards because I think they're rather sweet. So go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. 5 and 6. Now, question is, if I cut it that way, or do I cut it that way? I think that way might work slightly better. The pattern's more even then, isn't it? That's got space there and there. And then this one, got a lovely space there for a thank you. So I'm going to cut it by a centimetre so that it can fit onto a card base. I'm going to leave the white space, and this little strip I'm going to save for the inside decoration, and then I'm going to cut it a centimetre off that side. That's probably too small for anything. So, oh, that's exciting. So, card base wise, what I'm thinking is that one's going to go straight onto a base and a white card. What do we think? Oh, can't pick up my bit of Coastal Cabana that I've... Oh, it looks fabulous on all the bases. Oh, maybe not so much the saffron. Not so much so saffron. What do we think? I'm thinking we're going to go on the... So have a look at that on the Mango Melody. Or Coastal Cabana. So Mango, Coastal, Cinnamon, no, that one's not doing it for me either. So what do you think? Cinnamon, Coastal Cabana. Oh, that's a confusion, isn't it? Because I think this might look rather nice on a paler. Yeah, I think the note card will be rather nice on a paler. Cinnamon. Yeah, I'm thinking the darker background just lifts it a little bit, doesn't it? And then this one, I think a stripe either side. Oh, I need to cut that out of a different piece. Oh, you're in agreement. Fabulous, thank you. See, that doesn't work on Coastal Cabana because we haven't got any on it. Oh, that's so saffron's. Oh, that's another scratch somewhere. What colour am I trying to... So imagine that with just a strip either side. Do we think Mango Melody or Pear Pizzazz, or we could do a thin strip of both. That's rather nice. Or even, oh, how about that? But would you add a second colour? Let's put this one together while you're having a little contemplation. Let the video catch up. So we're popping that just central to that. So what I want is my little thank you in cinnamon cider. I do like to use the same ink for the sentiment as the base colour. So I stuck it on. I better not mess up my thank you now, had I? Well, there's a certain pressure when you've already stuck it to the base card and forgotten you've not put your sentiment on. Like, don't want to mess it up. Of course, had I messed it up, I could have then just put a greeting on a shape. So it wouldn't have been the end of the world. It would have been solvable. But we don't necessarily want to. Oh, I love these. Nope. One thing we do need to do is make sure we put it on the card base the right way up. So there we go. That's number 1 card. There. Numero uno. So this one we're thinking just Mango Melody. Just like a centimetre either side. Clearly not that piece because it's too short. So we could do a full. Quite liking the 2 layers if I like to be a little bit controversial. So David in the background going, don't know whether he's whether I'm being controversial. Well, see what I'm thinking. So we think about how big that sentiment is. By the time I've added that, so I'm thinking we could, actually it doesn't quite work, does it? I fancy making the card that way up. So how about we create, actually what would help is if I did it the other way around, wouldn't it? See, look, hours of fun with a 1 sheet wonder. So I'm thinking, and then very simply having the thank you, or even possibly do 2 thank yous if we use the Stamparatus. We could do the 2 colours and have that. It's not the way I planned it, is it? I'm going to come back to that one because that's confusing me now. Now this one. Can you put this one on a bit of Postal Cabana? How does that look? That was the bit that's all. I've gone on a right tangent. Apologies for the background noise. You can hear David going through his tools. He's on the search for the perfect tool. He's busy creating his own projects while I'm doing my projects. So that card is just shy of 13, so we want that just shy of that. So I'm taking a centimetre off. I'm not taking a centimetre off, I'm taking half a centimetre off. That's what I'm thinking. Is that's going to fill base of the card, and then that's going to really flash that colour. And then I'm going to do my thank you pre-sticking the whole thing together. That would be the sensible way. But these note card sizes I just think are brilliant for so I want the Coastal Cabana ink, and what's the betting? Fancy cutting a corner off, but is my corner cuttery thing about anywhere? Of course not. It is, it's hidden. Just going to gently cut that corner off because I rather love the fact we've got a little splodge up back in that corner. I'm going to get rid of the ink. My elbow nearly went in that and my thumb's just gone in it. Oh. Hang on, I'm going to make sure that ink isn't going to... The last thing I want is a big old splodge of ink in there. Oh, isn't this just gorgeous? Put that on a little note card. So there we go. We've managed to complete number 2. Still undecided about that one. Okay, all I'm going to do with this one is a strip. I think this one might lend itself to a nice bit of... See, the thing with Mango Melody, it's a lovely, vibrant colour. So all I'm going to do is cut a kind of 3/4 of a centimetre strip. So rather than laying it and using a whole kind of sheet, we can literally create that on a white card base. What to do, I'm going to pop it right in that top corner. I'm still going to have my sentiment in there. And potentially just leave that blank. Or we could pop the sentiment's going to go in that space. Let's stick it together and make a decision. So I am going to use wet glue sticking this because of that triangle, and what I need to be really sure of is that it's right up against that edge and the top of that card, which if I used tape I wouldn't have the, so I get a little bit of wriggle room, but you can see how I'm just kind of leaning that to make sure it's right up tight so that we don't have anything showing. So that's the easiest thing to do. And again, this little strip, I'm just going to run my wet glue, or I am if anything's going to come out. Come on. Treat myself to a new bottle and it's still not playing ball. There we go. So we just put a little thin strip, and I'm going to just butt that up against that paper, and then all we need to do is take our scissors, good sharp pair, and just turn the card over, cut there and there. Now the other thing is, ooh, that works quite well that way actually. So luckily I'd stuck that on a card base that I can now either go portrait or landscape. But I'm thinking it works rather well in portrait, and I'm thinking sentiment down here. Which I will stick to the Mango Melody, just under here. Just need to double check that we're all right on time. So just quite, actually I'm going to pop it down the bottom here. Don't be afraid of white space on a card. And the other thing is that piece. Yep, how lovely is that? We'll pop that in there. Again, I'm going to use wet glue because I need to make sure I've got that angle right. Oh, I'm going to have the white space at the bottom. So I need to make sure that it's positioned correctly. So if we put it on gently with wet glue, we can then just make sure that it's in the right place before we pop it down. So those little 1 centimetre bits I've cut off are rather handy for that. So rather pleased with that one. So there we go, that's number 3. Shut your ink pad, Marie. Then this one, again, just going to put it on a simple white card base. Now, do we leave it on its own? Maybe we add a little bit of, how about a bit of cinnamon cider with this one? Thinking it will go just a little 1/2 centimetre strip each side, right bang in the middle of that card. And for ease, I will probably just measure it and cut it. Obviously, if you wanted to be more frugal with your cardstock, you could again cut. So that measures 7 centimetres. So this is going to measure 8. So if you wanted to be more frugal with your cardstock, you could obviously just cut those 1/2 centimetre strips, but I'm not going to do that. Let's see. If you want your card to go a little bit further, then that's the way to do it. So let's just have a think. Let's clean this pad up. Look at me with all these thank you cards in a quick. That's what I love about One Sheet Wonders, is that the ability to just get your inks and your stamps. That lends itself there. So this is going to be in cinnamon cider, and I think we're on for about 40 minutes and I've almost finished my 4th card. So if you do need a number of different cards, it's quite a nice quick easy one. And once we get a bit closer to Christmas, maybe even September. I mean, it's September next week, isn't it? So I'm thinking we must be able to do a Christmassy One Sheet Wonder, mustn't we? Got to be done. So again, I'm going to line up that top. I have used tape, so I need to be more accurate. So I'm just pushing up to that top side and then going down. Got a little bit of excess, but we won't cut that off until we've got it on the card, which I'm going to be sensible and use wet glue when I stick it to the card, because just create random pretty patterns on the back of that. So just taking my card, and again I want it butted up right to that top edge, so I'm just going to gently place and just make sure that it's right up to that top edge. So that wriggle room is what we need with wet glue, just to make sure. And then if we turn it over, we've probably got a little bit of cinnamon cider to just take a little bit of a strip off there. So we can very easily just follow the edge of the card and take that out. I love this one. So I'm going to do 2 strips with this one, you know. And I'm going to cut it shorter so to do it on the widthways. See, the worst thing about a one sheet wonder is trying to make your mind up how you're going to finish it. So the other thing is, if you want to consider the depth of your card from the point of view of posting it, obviously if you use full layers you are going to build up the thickness. I know it has to be pretty thick knots to go through on a standard first class, but postage as it is, we want to try and get that on the... Not that I even know how much a normal first class stamp is. Does anybody actually know? I think a second class, a large first is 164, but the difference between sending that and a large letter can be the difference between creating too many layers on your card. So I'm going to stick these and then I'm going to cut it all across afterwards. And then actually the sentiment I might layer up on those same 2 colours. I'm going to push it that way, I think. But again, I'm going to use wet glue because I want to make sure I get that. Use a different pattern. It's like a meandering river, that one. So I want... Let's have a look. Let's not put it down too... Yeah, I think I rather like that bit of white space at the bottom. Like that. Then a little strip of glue down the side, either side. I'm going to put the darker on first. Being mindful, if I'm squidging glue, I'm squidging it to where I will need my second layer. Just squidge, if anything's going to squidge out, I want it to squidge that way. If that makes any sense whatsoever. If you're keeping up with me, I'm well impressed, because I've gone a bit all over the place, haven't I? You're just seeing my little creative brain going off on a tangent, which could be considered a good or a bad thing, but hey, we all talk to ourselves. And if you're sitting there thinking I don't talk to myself, that little voice that's asking you if you talk to yourself is you talking to yourself. So now you see what I have on the back. Again, I can follow the line of the card and just cut that across. So we just get a really nice, neat finish on the front of the card. I don't think we can use any of those bits, so they are going into the recycling bin, because otherwise you get such small bits. So, but I've lost my thank you. Oh, there it is. Oh! Make sure that's... So I could, I'm not going to put that on there. So it could just be a Mango Melody. Thank you. Or a Mango Melody and a I might call for the Stamparatus. Let's do the old mango first. Are you hanging on in with me? Are you managing to stick with my randomness? I want a thank you kind of in right smack in the middle. Just visually checking where that is. And then what I'm thinking, the Stamparatus would be ideal here because I could step it. But I'm feeling brave. Which could equal dangerous, but we will fix it if this doesn't work. But I'm thinking in So Saffron is to have a paler one above and below. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But that's not long enough for the inside, is it? No. So then, let's make our other little note card up. And then I will need to disappear to be on my work webinar. So should we do that one on Pear Pizzazz? Let's feature a bit of Pear Pizzazz. So I'm going to glue those on. Would that be considered a little dangerous to glue it and then cut it? It probably is, but I feel like living a bit dangerously. You may be about to find out why you shouldn't do it this way around. So you're all in silent contemplation. All your comments aren't coming through. Jane's too busy enjoying her hot tub. The relaxation after a hard day's work. So then the danger here, this is going to be the danger, oops, get that out of the way, is cutting that accurately to the same length as there. Holding my breath for me, yeah. Thank you. I think we might need it. Hoping it's going to work. The danger is if I cut too much off, and no with yes. Hashtag winning. So you can see I want what I need to do is mirror the kind of gap of paper, and it's not the best way to do it this way around. I would generally suggest that you do it. Cut your paper and then stick them on, but I've got away with it. So this is going to go on a little note card. And I think on that one, the thank you just needs to go on the inside because I guess it's not going to stamp now. Or do you know what we could do if we're really clever? How brave am I now feeling? Hold your breath. What I'm going to try and do is ink up just the thank. And put the thank on there first. Oh, got a little bit of a... got a sand eraser somewhere. So the most important thing now is to make sure that this ink, this stamp is really clean, because I'm going to ink the U up. I can see I caught a little tiny bit, that looks better, and then the U is going to go there. Hashtag winning. You can now breathe. Both plans worked. Although what I can't find right now is my sand eraser. So essentially I've got, so there's two options. I have a little tiny ink blob here. Just there. You may not be able to see it. That is either going to be an embellishment or my sand eraser will be able to take that off. So there you go. Just going to pop that on the centre of there. And there we go. We have managed to create, I've got one bit left over. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we are at 59 minutes. So I've got a minute to get onto my other webinar. So thank you very much for joining me in making those 6 cards. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Thanks for holding your breath and giving me my colour choices. Much appreciated. And take care, and I'll see you soon.